Today we are turning our attention to the main family themselves. While the Griffins are constantly getting into wild and inappropriate situations with the rest of Quahog.
All we need is one incriminating entry in this datebook, and that's our ticket to...
Hey, Brian, what's up?
It is usually the moments involving each other that really push the boundaries of what is acceptable. Today we're going to talk about the most SUS Griffin family moments in Family Guy. Let's start the show. Kicking off our list is Season 22, Episode 13, Lifeguard Meg. Have you ever tried to save a family member's life, only to make things so weird that it ends up on the local news? Meg manages to do exactly that in one of the most incredibly awkward and sus moments in modern Family Guy history. The madness begins when the Griffins visit an ocean park.
I don't want to freak anyone out, but Meg is just openly weeping at the touch tank.
It's been so long.
And Stewie accidentally falls into a dolphin aquarium. While the rest of the family stands around helplessly, Meg jumps into action and saves Stewie just in time.
Hey, check out the new edition. She's hot.
Tank hot.
This heroic display catches the eye of the park staff, who offer Meg a job as a lifeguard at their water slide park.
No, not at all. In fact, we have a job opening over at our water slide park. I think you'd make an excellent lifeguard. Will you apply for the position?
Meg is absolutely thrilled with her new gig, mostly because she thinks it means she can finally enjoy some peace, tranquility, and zero abuse from her family.
In fact, no family at all. It's just me, all day, every day.
But her dreams of a peaceful summer are immediately crushed when Peter realizes her new job gets him a discount on a season pass.
Dad, you have no right to hang out in my workplace. I'm a lifeguard, you know. I could just throw you out.
Oh, come on, Meg.
Peter and his friends show up to the water park and act like total menaces, ignoring all the pool rules until Meg finally snaps and kicks them out.
Okay, guys, out of the pool. I gave you a chance and you blew it. You're kicked out of the park.
What?
Refusing to leave quietly, Peter jumps straight into the deep end of the pool and quickly starts drowning.
Dad! Oh my God, he's not breathing!
Meg dives in to save his life and begins administering CPR. However, instead of a standard life-saving procedure, Meg uses way too much tongue, turning the rescue into what looks like a wildly inappropriate makeout session.
Your mouth was on my mouth.
I think. Maybe a little.
Things reach peak sus territory when the local news broadcasts the incident, announcing that Peter was revived by a game of tonsil hockey with his own daughter.
Babe, it's not what you think.
Yeah, I was just saving his life. He means nothing to me.
Meg tries to defend herself by explaining that she was just saving his life and that it meant nothing, but the damage to their public image is already done.
Meg, you have to give him mouth to mouth. Besides, you are the only one who knows how.
No way! I already did it once, and it made my life hell.
To prove that it is completely natural and not a big deal, Stewie decides to step in and stick his own tongue down Peter's throat.
You stick your tongue down Dad's throat, most natural thing in the world.
Thank goodness Peter finally apologizes for ruining her space, because this entire family needs some serious boundaries.
You know, we've had conversations like this again and again, and nothing ever changes. You're a terrible father.
Up next is Season 12, Episode 14, Fresh Air. Have you ever wanted to get your hands on a massive fortune so badly that you were willing to commit actual crimes against nature to get it? Peter Griffin takes his greed to a wildly uncomfortable and highly illegal level when he literally tries to marry his own son. It all starts when Chris repeatedly tries to spend some quality father-son time with Peter, but Peter completely blows him off.
Peter, you know, it might help Chris to be able to spend some time with his father.
Well, what's in it for old Pete?
He's your son. Don't you want someone to bond with?
With his dad ignoring him, Chris ends up hanging out with his bedridden grandfather, Carter Pewterschmidt.
Listen, Chris, I really want to thank you for coming to take care of me and helping me get well again.
No, it was no big deal.
Impressed by Chris's selflessness and the fact that he doesn't want anything in return, Carter makes a shocking announcement. He is changing his will to make Chris the sole heir to the massive Pewterschmidt fortune.
What?
Oh my. Daddy, you're seriously leaving your entire estate to Chris? I mean, what about Mom?
I promise she'll be dead before I am.
Peter is absolutely furious about missing out on the millions. so he immediately starts brown-nosing and trying to suck up to Chris.
Dad, what are you doing? What's going on?
When his attempts fail, Peter gets one of the absolute worst, most sus ideas in the entire history of the show.
I want to take this to the next level.
He proposes to Chris so he can legally share the inheritance. Peter claims that two men can marry in Vermont, regardless of their familial relation, which, by the way, is completely false in real life.
I don't know. It seems really weird. I mean, aren't men supposed to marry women?
No. That's just all of human history except for the last 5 months.
Seeing this as a rare opportunity to finally get his dad's attention and spend time with him, Chris actually agrees, and the two head off to Vermont to officially tie the knot.
No, Dad. I don't know what normal is anymore.
Thankfully, Lois and the rest of the family managed to crash the wedding and put a stop to the unholy union just in time.
Peter, you cannot do this. You cannot marry your son. I don't care how much money Daddy's left him.
Chris reveals he knew Peter was only after the money, but he went along with it just to hang out with his dad, finally making Peter realize the error of his ways.
Wow. Oh, boy, I've been a real jerk. I'm sorry, Chris.
But wait, if a father trying to marry his son wasn't enough to make you deeply uncomfortable, this episode throws in a bonus sus moment. It casually features a scene where Meg announces to Chris that their bath is ready, revealing that the two teenage siblings bathe together. Even Peter witnesses this, and bluntly admits he doesn't have the parenting skills necessary to deal with that level of weirdness.
Well, let's all go home, you guys. I think we've had enough excitement for one day.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we have Season 8, Episode 13. Go, Stewie, go. Have you ever felt a little jealous of your own child's happiness? Lois takes that jealousy to a deeply uncomfortable and highly inappropriate level when she sets her sights on Meg's totally normal teenage boyfriend. The madness kicks off when Meg announces the seemingly impossible to the family. She actually has a new boyfriend, and she wants to invite him over for dinner.
Well, Meg, if you're telling us the truth, I just hope to God he's an improvement over the last one.
Come on, I'll take you home.
Okay, babe.
Naturally, the family is highly skeptical,
Lois, get in here. Meg's boyfriend.
with seemingly everyone gathering around to inspect the poor guy when he shows up. They even bring in Dr. Hartman for a medical opinion to ensure there's absolutely nothing wrong with him.
I can honestly say for the first time that I am attracted to our daughter.
But to everyone's absolute shock, Meg's boyfriend is a completely normal, polite, and charming teenager.
Come on, Peter. I think Anthony wants some time alone with Meg.
Who doesn't want some time alone with Meg these days? Right, Meg?
Anthony manages to win the entire family over, but he makes the crucial mistake of complimenting Lois, telling her she's pretty enough to be a movie star.
Anyway, good night, kids.
Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad.
On the lips. Yes.
When Peter and Lois head upstairs, Meg and Anthony start making out on the couch. This is where Lois crosses right into peak sus territory. Instead of giving them privacy, she creepily watches them from the top of the stairs, fantasizing that Anthony tastes like Mountain Dew and Starburst.
I bet you taste like Mountain Dew and Starburst.
After confiding in Bonnie, who terribly advises her to explore her feelings.
I'm gonna tell you a secret, Lois. I had an affair once.
You had an affair?
Lois begins aggressively making advances on the teenager, even handing him Peter's work schedule with her menstrual cycle written on it.
My menstrual cycle's on there too, but I don't mind if you don't.
Thanks.
Lois eventually concocts a fake excuse to get Meg out of the house, sending her to pick up her grandfather Carter from the airport.
Anthony, you want to come with me?
Sure.
Don't be ridiculous. I'll keep him company till you get back. Goodbye, Meg.
With Meg gone, Lois wastes zero time. She asks Anthony if her gray hairs bother him, demands a kiss, and actually makes out with her daughter's high school boyfriend. But the universe delivers instant karma when Meg suddenly walks back in because she forgot her keys. Lois tries to offer up a weak apology, claiming she never meant to steal him, but Meg completely shuts her down.
Is that what you think? You stole him from me? Are you kidding? You couldn't steal him from me.
Meg reveals she isn't even threatened by her mom, dropping the wild detail that she and Anthony actually hang from the shower rod using Lois's old bras just to laugh at her.
He hangs me from the shower rod with your old bras and then we laugh at you. Now get out of my room!
Well, When you're ready to talk.
In classic Lois fashion, she tries to deflect the blame onto Peter for making her feel old and unattractive, but we all know who really crossed the line by making a move on a teenager. Next up is Season 16, Episode 3, Nanny Goats. Have you ever walked in on something so deeply uncomfortable that you wished a team of foreign assassins would just take you out instead? The Griffin family's strict new nanny experiences exactly that when she stumbles upon a highly sus sibling bonding session. The madness begins when Lois's parents visit the Griffin house and find it in a state of total disaster.
Lois, what's going on here?
Well, I asked Peter to mow the lawn.
Thanks to Peter's new pet goats. Disgusted by the mess, Babs tells Lois that since she doesn't believe in psychiatry, she's hiring a nanny to help her out.
You need help, Lois, and since I don't believe in psychiatry, I'm getting you a nanny.
Enter Natalia, a strict, no-nonsense Belarusian woman whose idea of a good morning is asking the kids what their favorite breakfast fish is.
Okay, Natalia, level with me. Why are you really here?
Despite her intense, cold demeanor, Stewie quickly takes a liking to Natalia, asking if she will be their nanny forever.
Natalia, will you be our nanny forever?
Unless Belarus security force track me down.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, it turns out those forces work pretty fast, because heavily armed assassins suddenly arrive and open fire on the Griffin house. As the bullets start flying, Natalia grabs Stewie and rushes upstairs to secure the rest of the kids. But when they burst into the room, they stumble across something far more unsettling than a hit squad. They catch Meg and Chris hiding under the bed, practicing how to kiss each other.
No kissing, under bed.
To make things even weirder, Chris is inexplicably wearing a doctor's stethoscope while making out with his sister. It takes a lot to shock a hardened assassin, but walking in on some good old Rhode Island inbreeding is definitely enough to do it. The fact that Chris and Meg were just mad they got caught instead of being disgusted makes this the absolute most sus moment in the Griffin family tree. Wrapping up our countdown is Season 13, Episode 12. Have you ever felt your best friendship fading away and your first thought was to build a machine to impregnate yourself with their DNA? Well, Stewie takes separation anxiety to a deeply disturbing and highly controversial level in this episode. The madness kicks off when Brian keeps blowing off Stewie's attempts to hang out, rejecting offers to go to Whole Foods or watch television.
I didn't seem too desperate, right?
Stewie starts to panic about losing his best friend, but he gets a horrific idea when he spots Joe and Bonnie happily playing with their daughter, Susie.
Having a baby seems to have made them closer. Babies save relationships.
Figuring that having a baby saves failing relationships, Stewie decides that having a child together is the only way to save their bond.
I say, this is my best idea since I robbed a Joseph A. bank.
After Brian ignores him during a fake tea party, Stewie secretly collects Brian's hair and saliva, builds a fertilization device, and literally impregnates himself. When Stewie drops the positive pregnancy test bombshell on Brian, the dog is understandably traumatized by the unholy implication and begs Stewie to get an abortion.
Stewie, you have to get rid of it. Get rid of it? You know, why don't you just say it? Say the word, Brian. I want to hear you say it. Abortion!
However, Stewie refuses and forces Brian to go through all the classic pregnancy milestones until his water breaks while they are waiting in line for burgers.
Call the doula! Brian, you've got to call the doula! Doula? I don't even know what that is!
They rush to Brian's Prius, but they don't make it to the hospital in time.
Brian, I'm going to need you to deliver the baby. Okay, can you wait a second while I put a towel down?
To Brian's utter horror, Stewie gives birth in the car to a horrifying litter of 7 human-dog hybrid abominations.
I just put Jack and Rose down for their nap, and I'm trying to keep the more attractive ones in this area.
Taking care of the mutant babies proves to be an absolute nightmare, as the pups suffer from terrible genetic defects like having melting bones, being blind, and being completely deaf.
We are going to be spending a fortune on schools. How are we going to pay for that?
After the babies quickly start dropping like flies, with one tragic casualty involving the deaf puppy and Joe's lawnmower, the stress gets to be too much for Brian.
I can't take this anymore, Stewie. I'm sorry, I gotta get out of here.
Finally, Brian opens up and admits he was only distancing himself in the first place because Stewie had been moody. Realizing this entire crime against nature could have been avoided with a simple conversation, the two make up and agree to drop the surviving hybrids off at an animal shelter.
This is for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll be adopted.
Oh, God, yeah.